Week 2 of Iowa football's fall camp. We know what it's all leading up to. An open scrimmage on Saturday, which will be open to the public, free admission for Hawkeye fans, and we'll get a chance to chat with a number of players and coaches the day prior on Friday at Iowa Media Day. Very much looking forward to that in just about 48 hours. But how about some Week 2, fall camp Week 2 notes? What's the buzz from fall camp in the last couple of days? Over the weekend, I checked in and let you know a couple of tidbits as it relates to specifically the wide receiver room and what the cornerback position was looking like early. Maybe a bit of a shift here these last few days, but we'll dissect what I can tell you in just a second. But first, I want to thank our two sponsors, Iowa Floor Covering down at Bondurant. If you're about to start a project in your home, maybe it's a DIY project, give Iowa Floor Covering your business. Call 515-379-7000. You can also visit them online and check out what they have to offer, iowafloorcovering.com. And again, that's 515-379-7000 over the phone. Also, under the kitchen, Randy Engel will be set up down at Fry Fest. He is each and every year. Check out his stand and check out the authentic Hawkeye artwork and support a local business that has been supporting this local business for the last couple of years. We appreciate Randy, and please support the hard work that's being done. Visit Under the Kitchen on Facebook or visit his website, underthekitchen.square.site. So what's the buzz of fall camp as we enter Week 2? We're in Week 2 right now. Of course, fall camp started last Wednesday. And again, we get to see this team on Saturday. But how about this? The one thing that I was told earlier today from a source close to the program, there are quite a few people right now that believe this quarterback battle is quite close. Now, I want to preface what I'm saying by saying this. It sounds like Cade McNamara is still getting almost all the work with the ones. Now, we'll see if that's the case on Saturday at the open scrimmage. So that tells me that there are people on the inside who still believe he is the clear-cut guy. But I can tell you with good authority, that there are people within the program right now that believe that Brendan Sullivan is really close and is nipping at the heels of Cade McNamara. I was told today that Brendan has been really quick, faster than some people expected with his feet. He's got good quickness. He throws a good ball, and that's something that's consistent with what we evaluated when he initially committed to Iowa during, late spring, early summer, is that he didn't have the biggest arm, but he threw a very catchable ball. He is going to be more mobile than Cade McNamara. And if Cade is wearing that brace on that knee, which we expect him to, that only hurts his cause as it relates to mobility. I'd say that's my biggest fear right now at the quarterback position. If they go with Cade, I have no doubt that Cade can still spin it and get the job done through the air. But if this offensive line doesn't hold up like Kirk Ferentz expects it to, we've seen immobile quarterbacks struggle, and it really hampers the Iowa offense. I'd say the last time Iowa's offense was electric, you could argue 2017 with Nate Stanley. That was an exceptional year on a number of fronts. You had two future first-round draft picks at tight end. You had an electric Akram Wadley who played his butt off early in the season, especially I think of that Iowa State game, and then, of course, later on with Ohio State. But really, I go back to 2016. C.J. Beathard was banged up. 2015, C.J. did get hampered a little bit as the season went on with a nagging injury, but his mobility really sparked an offense that was coming off a really tough 2014. Now, that's kind of my hope for this year. I just wonder if Cade can give them that level of mobility given his injury issues and then the brace. But Sullivan might be able to do that. So it sounds like this battle might be just that, a battle as we head into weeks 3 and 4 of fall camp, and perhaps as this team gets ready for game 1. Now, I'm certainly not making any predictions that Sullivan's going to overtake Cade for the starting role, but it sounds like Sullivan has been good. That is good news. Also, how about this? As of right now, it looks like TJ Hall might be the leader for that second cornerback spot opposite of Jamari Harris. Very interesting development there. Now, again, nothing is concrete, and he's kind of been the forgotten man to some extent. Now, we've mixed his name in with the group that has featured Deshaun Lee, John Nestor, TJ Hall, but out of the three, TJ Hall is the oldest. We know he was a really good recruit coming out of high school, was committed to a couple of Pac-12 teams initially, got kind of a bad rap for what he did against Nebraska, just struggled when he had to come in there as a true freshman in relief of Cooper DeJean. Got burned by a future NFLer and Trey Palmer, but it sounds like he's having a solid camp. So that competition is very healthy. I mentioned just a few days ago that John Nestor has been good in camp as well. Wide receiver, I mentioned over the weekend that Jacob Gill has looked good. No indication that has changed. It sounds like right now, if you had to play a game tomorrow, your top three receivers would be Gill, Caden Weegan, Seth Anderson. And I would guess that once Caleb Brown is back, that he would insert himself back into the lineup. Would it be Anderson, the odd man out? I know some people believe that it would be, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And I continue to hear that Kamari Moulton is splitting reps with the twos with Caleb Johnson. So the idea of an incumbent at running back in Caleb Johnson just being ahead of Kamari Moulton, who's now a second-year guy who was limited in action last year, not necessarily to be, and it doesn't sound like Jazz Patterson right now is in that top three. So we'll have to see what it looks like on Saturday. If all this ends up panning out, we've got a few days before Saturday, but those were just some notes that I wanted to relay to everybody. And the good news on the injury front, no serious injuries. I did let our premium members on the YouTube channel know of a minor injury, it sounds like, to a starter. Won't get into that here. If you want to subscribe, you certainly can do that. Once in a while, I'll plug some little tidbits and notes, but nothing serious. Certainly, if something were serious, would certainly relay that to everybody here on the main channel. But just wanted to give everybody an update. We will be at Iowa Media Day. Be sure to subscribe. Plenty of coverage this weekend and heading into the remainder of fall camp. I'm Corey Brada from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Hit that like button on the way out. We'll talk to you soon.